Welcome to Mining Review Africa. As we celebrate Women's Month, today we have the pleasure of speaking to Bridget Rodrigues, Senior Rock Engineer at Knight Piésold. Bridget, welcome.
Hi, thank you. Thank you for having me, Penelope.
Bridget, what inspired you to get into engineering?
I love data, always have loved solving problems and understanding things. So I think it was just a natural transgression that engineering was the choice. And I think in the work I do, it's daily solving problems. So that was my inspiration.
Sure. And what would you say you love most about what you do?
I love my job. I think that's probably the biggest one. Like I said, handling data, solving problems, and being in rock engineering, it is continuously solving problems, improving how things work, a lot of uncertainty. So it's looking at data, it's putting things together and finding a solution and improving systems and building on those systems.
Sure. And maybe just highlight a bit about what a rock engineer does. What do you do?
So my job is mining related. And I look at usually slope design, so looking at the pit stability, the design of the pit, looking at our benches, and underground mining, so from support to pillar stability to pillar design. So really just looking at the rock, the strength, and how stable it is.
Oh wow, that's amazing. And what keeps you motivated every day?
I think passion, enjoying what you do is probably the biggest one. On a personal level, I would say my inspiration would be my daughter, Alexandra. Just having the opportunity to lead by example, to be a strong woman, to be a capable woman, and to forge that path that there is no limit to what you want to become. And I have that opportunity to show her that we as women can do what we want, and you can't. And I suppose that on a personal level is the inspiration, is that I have that opportunity to be that woman, that I think we all need growing up.
Yeah, and what is that one thing that you'd say you've learned throughout your journey?
Being a woman in a, I suppose, engineering field, or irrelevant of engineering, in a male-dominated field isn't easy. You do have to work harder to have your voice heard, to receive the respect and the recognition. And that is something, you are in a room, and at least today a lot of things have changed and there are more women joining this whole STEM scene. But just because you have to work harder or you have to try harder to get that recognition, to have your voice heard and respected, doesn't mean you aren't good enough and you don't know what you're doing or that you don't belong. You do. And you have to continuously, I think, believe in yourself, because you at least have to be your biggest supporter. But I definitely say, self-belief is probably the biggest thing. Work harder, but know that you're there because you are good.
Yeah. So Bridget, I'm thinking it hasn't been maybe an easy journey for you. So when you come across challenges when you're sitting maybe with your male colleagues and your voice is not being heard, how do you deal with such situations?
How do I deal with that? Probably, you know what, and I think again, it's that self-belief. Just because your voice isn't being heard doesn't mean your voice isn't right. And always remain respectful, believe in yourself, and your voice will eventually be heard. And we don't need to, jump up and sing and fight to have our voices heard, because our work will speak for itself. And, your ability shines and your ability speaks for itself. And I think remaining humble, remaining positive, and remaining, with that belief within yourself that I know my stuff, I belong, and irrelevant of me not being heard, my work will shine through.
Yeah. And you also touched that a lot of young women are actually taking the STEM
Yes.
field. So would you encourage them to join the mining industry?
Again, it's not an easy industry, but I think my simple answer would be yes, why not? why not join STEM or mining or engineering? If you have the passion, you have the drive, you have the curiosity, or you have the want to learn and continue learning, come on over. Like, we welcome more women in this environment and within this field. And, you know, there are the stigmas. It's a male-dominated field, and you may be the only woman sitting in that room, but that doesn't define who you are. You know, you are there and you belong. So I think I would say, like, you're strong, you're capable, you're brave, you're a woman, and you belong. So join engineering. I mean, it's a field where every day is different. You know, yes, you use the same theoretical formulas, and it's the same concepts, but all your data is new, all your data is different. So I definitely encourage more women to join.
Yeah, and Bridget, we're celebrating Women's Month.
Yes.
What's your message to women?
We are great. Women are wonderful. What is my message to women? I think we belong. Yeah. That would probably be what I'd say. We belong in the fields that we have chosen. And like we define who we are, and yes, sometimes there are barriers that stop us taking the path we want. But I think, irrelevant of all of that, don't let any of those bumps in the road stop you from doing and being the person you want.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's beautiful, Bridget. That was Bridget Rodrigues, Senior Rock Engineer at Knight Piésold. Bridget, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for your time.